Champions League football is officially back at the Lane, and we've kicked things off with a 1-0 win against Villarreal. If you're new to the channel, please remember to like, share, comment and subscribe so you never miss a video. Yes, people, not the most entertaining games, but we take 3 points and actually also a clean sheet, which for Spurs isn't normally normal, but this season it seems to be a thing that we're now creating. But like I say, it was a big moment for Tottenham. It's been a long while since we've been in Champions League. It was great to hear the Champions League anthem being rolled around the stadium, only for us to sing over the top of it, Champions of Europe. We know what we are, so love it. The tifo as well by THFC Flags was insane. I loved the retro feel. It just feels good to have Champions League football back at the Lane. Obviously, from the weekend, there were a couple of changes. Obviously, Tel came out, obviously not being part of the Champions League squad, and we saw Richarlison slot in and Bentancur also start in that more CDM kind of role. Things kind of start off, as we say, we're back into business, and it wasn't long before we got on the score sheet. I'm not a Spurs player, but to be honest with you, the more I rewatch it, the worse and worse it gets. Obviously, it was a great move from Bergvall to get down the line, to put a cross into Richarlison that was back post, only for it never to meet Richarlison, because the keeper instead gets it and then palms it into his own net. I honestly think it's harder to mess that up than it was actually to save it. 4 minutes in, he's never going to ever forget that. And then from there, the whole rest of the game was just a little bit stale. There were moments where it looked like Villarreal were maybe going to get in. I thought at times tonight Spence was maybe sleeping a lot. He wasn't on his A game, but to be honest with him, he's had so many highs in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to let him do his thing tonight. But like I say, there was not many opportunities for us either. I think one of them was obviously Simmons. He blasted the ball just over the bar. And then we also saw a chance from Sarr, which was probably the second closest chance, obviously, from scoring that first one with Bergvall. It was outside the box and absolutely rocketed it. And it just goes wide of the post. It had to, well, I mean, it had to make a good save, but it does go wide. But he is on fire at the minute. Like I say, he's scored internationally. He scored for us at the weekend, and he nearly scored tonight as well. But apart from that, there wasn't really a lot to talk about. We looked very lacklustre. I was surprised that we didn't see Simmons and Richarlison come off sooner, especially being on yellows. Obviously, the well as well with Simmons. The real concerning thing was he potentially could have been sent off. But that kind of goes down to how bad the officiating was tonight. There was no real rhythm of the game because Mr. I Am ref wanted to blow for everything and sometimes blow for the wrong things. And not just being from a Spurs perspective, it was from both sides. He was just awful. But luckily for us, obviously, we managed to walk away with those 3 points and obviously our first win in the Champions League season 25-26. So I am very pleased. I don't think the performance is really a lot to shout about. And as cliche as it is, it doesn't really matter. As long as you get a win, it's perfect. So there's still a lot to work on. But I'm very happy. Obviously, we saw Mouriño make his debut as well tonight, coming on late on in the game. Again, maybe should have come on earlier, but when he came on, he got booked, which wasn't ideal. But I thought he was being dragged down anyway, so I thought it was harsh from the ref. But that being said, it was good to get him on. I'm sure we'll see more of him feature in Champions League fixtures and in the Prem too. But yeah, apart from that, there wasn't really a lot to report. I mean, I'm glad we got a clean sheet and we've got a goal. We've got 3 points, which will look lovely, obviously, on that Champions League league at the moment. So very, very pleased. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can kind of say. But let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Obviously, as well, going off a tangent, I'm just thinking about it. That's probably why we saw Sarr come off as well. I thought he was excellent, but we have got that game against Brighton at the weekend. So thinking about it, it's probably good to bring him off because, as we all know, he is an engine. But he needs some time to rest. So I'm sure he will feature at the weekend against Brighton. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below tonight. How you're kind of feeling of it. And before we go as well, actually, you can tell I'm going off a bit of a tangent. The fact that the man I will not name got absolutely booed tonight. I was booing at home. It's a full credit to our fans. I know that ticket prices were so expensive for this fixture. But I'm glad for all those people that were there, got behind the team, booed that menace. And yeah, we walked away with a win. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe so you never miss a video. Obviously, we've got show tomorrow, the Hat-Tricks Heroes. We've got a show next Monday as well, the day before my birthday. So hopefully we'll be talking about a win against Brighton then. And until next time, come on you Spurs.